Welcome to Healing Through Dentistry podcast,
where we redefine health, wellness, and the power of your smile.
We're your hosts,
Hana
and Eva, twin sisters, qualified dentists and medical doctors.
This is more than a dental podcast.
It's a journey into profound connection between oral health and whole body healing.
Through personal stories, inspiring client transformations, and expert insights,
we explore how dentistry can ignite energy, relieve chronic pain, and transform lives.
Get ready to discover the extraordinary ways your smile can heal, inside and out.
Let's begin. Welcome to Healing Through Dentistry podcast.
We're your hosts, holistic dentists and twins, Hana
and Eva,
and we're so grateful you're here with us. So we believe that the mouth reflects your overall health, and today is another day for a discussion about how everything in your body, and in my personal belief, everywhere is interconnected.
Everything is connected. We give examples. I give the examples to my clients. It's my favorite thing. I try to make a link, make them imagine on other people's experiences. So everything is connected. So in my explanation, if the body is so powerful that if the inflammation, for instance, is the body is securing it on one area, which is area of your front tooth, which was hurt years ago, then it would be missing somewhere where it's connected. And we will be talking about that in very big detail.
So each tooth, like everything else in a body, lies on a specific energy pathway that connects organs, glands, your joints, even your vertebrae, and more. Basically everything what we've got in our body. So for example, the upper molars, everyone knows upper molars and lower molars because it's the very first tooth which grows up, and we're about like 6-7 years old, and a lot of us might have had issues with them, so we know them. But for example, those teeth are, the upper ones are on a meridian with stomach, but not only with the stomach, also with the liver, with thyroid gland, with mammary gland, with your temporomandibular joint, knee, like knee comes up so often.
Very often, but also there is a symbolism of this tooth, which is self-love, so emotion of self-love. So there's everything connected in our body and everything happens for a reason. So it's something we think about and maybe a little talk about with clients to be aware of other consequences which can help them to heal.
So therefore, if you experience, I'm just going to say in a different way to Eva, issues like, let's say, bloating or poor digestions or temperature regulation disorders or issues or knee pain, or even like Eva was just now suggesting emotions, so like feelings of worry or bitterness or outbursts of anger, it is possible that your tooth might be contributing to it, meaning your not healthy tooth, because the energy might have been blocked there.
Yeah. Well, lots of clients, they're aware of that something is not right in their mouth, but they don't see the link. They have never come across the information that it is that connected, because I see that modern medicine, which I'm grateful for, is unfortunately dividing and maybe kind of making small pieces of our body and kind of deals with them, and it's not linking them together. So we would like to link it together and tell you lots of examples of our clients.
So let's say again, tooth damage. I'm intentionally not referring to a tooth pain, because most of the time people might not have a pain in the tooth, or it can be kind of issue which is unnoticed. But the tooth damage, which can be even in our eyes heavy metal filling, meaning amalgam filling, or your heavy metal crown or titanium implant, can affect your organ or body part associated with this specific pathway. So I was talking about the upper molars being connected to so many organs like liver, mammary gland, thyroid gland. We see that in our office that often, again, because this is the most probably affected tooth in our mouth because of the reason that we have it grown in our mouth.
The
like
first
thing,
which is at the age of 6 or 7.
after your baby teeth. And we see that connection quite often, and we try to like navigate or point people into that direction, which means let's just fix the tooth, let's see whether there are no any interferences in your tooth which may be actually holding your overall health back.
Yeah, basically, how could we optimize the health? Lots of clients, they come and they have root canal treatments, chronic inflammations they're not aware of. They basically come, and one of the questions we ask, is there anything you deal with in your health, in your general health? That's the key question, because they can reply, okay, I have issues with thyroid gland, or I have a knee pain, and then we could link these symptoms with the condition of the tooth.
Or at least it can help us. Obviously, there is like not one road leading to a Rome, as they say. There's many ways leading to a Rome. You might know the saying, but it's one of the things which may contribute. So what are the 3 big interferences in the dental world for us, Eva?
We like to make boxes in this case, which is chronic inflammation, which is one big area.
Yeah.
The second one is metals or heavy toxic metals. And the third area are cavitations, which are all of those 3 boxes are developing chronic inflammation anyway. So it's leading to the same answer of your body, answer of your immunity, and also the same blockages on the meridian or the path, which is disconnected.
Yeah, I think this is something what we're just going to be discussing in more detail later. What I would like to discuss now is what we believe is our 8 pillars of healthy smile. And I believe it's not only a smile, because again, everything is interconnected. So if I do have a smile, healthy smile, I should have a healthy body. Because if I do, on the contrary, do have an inflammation in my mouth, that means that the inflammation is actually in my system, whole system, because I cannot believe that the tooth or teeth are separated from the rest of the body. It's just the contrary. So what are the 8 pillars, Eva?
So the first pillar is nutrition. So food
It's a
medicine. So
it can be, it depends what you eat, when you eat, and how you consume it. So food should be medicine, and we are big believers in real food and remembering what it was working 50, 100 years ago. And that's what's actually giving us the nutrients so we can function well.
Always recommend to clients documentary film, The Sugar Film, which is amazing to explain how sugar in Western medicine, or not Western medicine, but in Western world, is used, and why is it used in historically, and how is it also affecting our body.
And how does it affect our body? Big way. So nutrition, I think, is the pillar 1. It always stands quite far up, but they all quite far up. They can be all number 1 place, but they can't all be on the like number 1 place. So the second one, in our opinion, is the movement.
Yes.
Because motion comes from
the state of mind is coming from motion. So movement is very important. It's just like making all the hormones and all the good hormones and chemicals to flow in the body and creates the motion.
Great. The third pillar is the prevention. Again, it's another one important in our world. Is we're a big advocate and kind of a reminder people who still remind our clients to see the hygienist. In general, it's like 4 times a year. I do see them every 3 months, and I do recommend it to my clients. Some people need it even more. It's very individual, but that's something what we might discuss more later as well, because that's maybe the top question you always have. Why? How often? And do I need to floss or things like that?
But in overall health, it's so important because all the bacteria are flowing in the bloodstream, and They basically, according to the affinity that the bacteria has, they would just stay there where is the weakest part. So very important to start with the health of your mouth and care about hygiene at least 4 times a year.
Sleep is another one, and it's a big one. It's sometimes not, noticed that much, which I believe is one of the core pillars for all of us. We really need to be careful about not only how many hours we sleep, but what's the quality of the sleep.
Yeah. And I have to say that we can survive with no food, but we cannot survive with no sleep. There's studies about that. And yeah, so sleep for me, number one for the recovery.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a study, it's a common sense. If you don't sleep, everyone knows if they don't sleep that they, at least me, I am not pleasant. So what's the fifth one?
Detox. It's becoming very important pillar as what we're bringing to the world past 100 years. So detoxification, heavy toxic metals, and the liver is our huge help to detox. But it's
Powerhouse,
but it's having less and less strength. So we need to just make it nice and clean in order to thrive.
Yeah, it is again, it's to do with the way how we, especially in a Western world, live and what chemicals we use, to grow our plants. And, then it goes to the air, and then, it goes to the rain, to our waters. And it's like a vicious circle. So
and lots of us who are listening are, looking after yourself in a way that you have detox or you have non-toxic way of living and households, but not everybody knows. So we're here just to remind others that these chemicals are hormone disruptors, and we would like to share because for us, it's natural that we don't use chemicals, but we see lots of friends around that they're struggling with their health because they're using these chemicals, and they're starting to see how much help it has for them if they stop doing basic things like stop buying chemicals and shampoos.
Conventional shampoos, conventional perfumes and creams and hair conditioners and products. Yeah, I am sure that it's not 100% avoidable because obviously chemicals everywhere, but at least what I believe in, what can be kind of to some extent influence, we should really influence, because little by little, everything's got effect on our overall health. And it's only like a matter of other stuff, like in your immune system or emotions and other stressors, when, the issue is going to project in your life. So some people, would have the problems when they're 50, but we do more and more, and I see it, and probably you too, Eva, that we do have clients in their 30s coming over, or maybe like late 20s, complaining about the health issues. And I'm like, what's going on? This is not normal. We haven't used to have it like that.
Yeah, which is leading us to pillar number 6, which is belief or power of consciousness, which is what you said, Hana, that some people, they have symptoms or signs of issues or problems, or I wouldn't like to just box it, but they have symptoms. Other people, they don't. So I always say to clients that the most important is belief and how you think. How you think is the most important in healing process. We love work of Dr. Joe Dispenza.
He's got his famous books called You Are the Placebo or Breaking the Habits of Being Yourself.
Believe, behave, become, that's one of the mottos. So even though whatever we have in our environment, even though whatever we have in our body, the body is so powerful that it could heal and it can be healthy, nevertheless, what we have. So power of consciousness.
Yeah, I do need to mention Bruce Lipton as well, because his book, The Biology of Belief, is one of a kind
Bible
as well, the Bible. So you can look up this one as well if you would like to.
Yeah, well, we changed one life in clinic. I would say it's 8 years ago when a very young lady in her, I would say she would be 22, 23, she came with multiple sclerosis. And I only noticed the book, The Biology of Belief from Bruce Lipton, and she came back, I would say, in 6 months later, and she said, "You changed my life. I bought the book. I changed everything. My mom is with me. We need to a little bit work on our father." But she stopped basically taking medication for multiple sclerosis, and she's on a different path of her life, which I'm very grateful and
Well,
happy
the
for
most
her.
importantly, her symptoms have improved like massively. That's why she cut on the medication. And till now, we've got this little angel in our surgery. She gave you like a little sculpture of an angel.
Yeah.
And she reminds us that anything is possible. And these powerful stories, healing stories, they're incredible. And that's what's probably led us to start this Healing Through Dentistry podcast, because we'd like to share with all of you. And maybe we can inspire someone who can then get better. Like Joe Dispenza, we can actually stop not mentioning him, and I'm sure that's just going to be maybe a solo episode about his work and about his teachings, maybe even about our experience on his retreat.
But I'd love to say his 4-minute mile example, because before one person broke this, it was impossible for everybody.
Well, explain
But once,
what is it?
what is it? So if you run a mile under 4 minutes, it was impossible. But
One stage,
at
yes.
one stage. But once one person broke it, then since that time, I guess almost 200 people broke this amazing time. So I feel like when we have examples, the body is powerful to be ready to do the work unconsciously.
Yeah,
So
it's true. You probably know it from your experience. If you see your friend doing something, he or she can inspire you, and you might say to yourself, wow, if he can do it, I might be able to do it as well. And you surely do. So this is the same principle. Okay, so I just wanted to say that this is not our discussions about this is not finished. It's just the beginning, and we're definitely going to be having more episodes or talkings on this issue in terms of beliefs, power of consciousness, and even Dr. Joe Dispenza and his retreats, and how he or his teaching changing massively lives of a lot of people. So what's the next, the seventh pillar?
The pillar number 7 is forgiveness. So that brings us back to emotions. I feel it's very connected to belief. So we're changing our habits of being ourselves, and we're forgiving ourselves. We are forgiving others, because what if we don't forgive ourselves or others? We're holding on emotions which are bringing us the chemicals, and the chemicals are making us sick.
Well, they're not good chemicals, because there's always two kind of chemicals, right? The happy hormones, you might have dopamine, serotonin, like the happy hormones, which are or like a love hormone, right? Dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. And that makes us like all happy and unlimited energy and vibrant. But then this is a great example, because then if I'm holding the grudge, I'm constantly stiff and angry with someone, and I'm being woken up at 3 a.m. in the night. That's got a reason as well, because like that's your liver telling you, I'm so angry. And through the traditional Chinese medicine, we know that this organ is active in between 1 a.m. and 3 p.m. So
1 a.m. till
did I say 3 p.m. a.m.? So early in the morning. So these emotions will absolutely affect your whole body as well, in terms of that you're just going to be producing yourself. You're going to be producing chemicals which you really do not want, because they're just going to give your body basically inflammation.
And they would give you orders. So you will order, okay, do this to this organ because, you're not happy. So the chemicals are acidic. Basically, the emotions, even though you would have the great lifestyle, but you would and eat well and live in a healthy environment, and you would feel the fear or you would feel angry, then you're not going to be healthy, because the blood is acidic and everything in the body is acidic, which means not healthy environment for the cells.
It can't function in an optimized way. Yeah. And the last one is joy, and that's what we were just talking about in terms of falling in love feelings and stuff.
Oxytocin and all the good chemicals for us. And it's very important to be joyful and have joy in our life, have communities in our life, which you all know the documentaries about blue zones. So it's community and environment and basically connection with people, which brings us to high age.
Yep, it's got an immense influence on ourselves. So feelings of joy, feelings of gratefulness, gratitude, feeling of love is basically, I know it might sound cliche, but that's what is healing. But it is, because it's what it actually brings our body, the good chemicals that I was just talking about, which actually put everything in order in our body, and it heals itself.
And plus it's a neural system, the automatic neural system. So it brings us to a nice, calm and relaxing mode, which is a healing power for the body.
Thank you for joining us on Healing Through Dentistry podcast. We hope today's conversation has inspired you to see your smile as the gateway to whole body well-being.
To stay connected, visit us on our website or follow us on social media.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could benefit.
Until next time, remember, healing starts with a smile.
Take care,
and we will see you in the next episode.